obviously it was a fairly infamous moment for Counter-Strike in general, with Forsaken being caught cheating on LAN at these Extremes LAN finals. And so I can remember, and I don't know if this is the same from your perspective, but I remember watching this game and going, like it's a little bit fishy, but
He was so sus, bro. I was like,
I've had these moments all the time though, right? Like you're watching a game and you're like, maybe it's just GoTV lag or like something just looks weird. Yeah. I never really think anything of it, but there was this one moment where he traced the guy through the quad box on Keish.
We were looking at each other, bro.
We just looked at each other like, what the fuck was that? So like, were you kind of like convinced before any of that shit went down that he was cheating, or?
I kept giving you looks. So I don't know if you were cottoning on. I feel like you were, because you were kind of giving me these like, what's going on?
I mean, I was, but like I didn't want to say anything on the broadcast because you just don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So because it was my first gig, like when he did that aim lock at quad, I was like, you were doing the play-by-play, and I was gonna be like aim lock or something like that. But I was like, obviously unprofessional, can't do that. Like I don't really know what the go is with like all that kind of stuff on broadcast. I was like, I'll just play it safe and not say anything. I remember just like giving you the eyes, like that was pretty magical that he just like just absolutely aim locked and shot at this guy. And there was like a few at B main as well where he just I was like, yeah, right, like maybe this happens a lot, maybe like everyone has clips like this, but yeah, he was pretty.
It was pretty sus. And then we obviously had that massive Phil segment for like 30 minutes. Did it ever like was there like a switch in your brain where you were like, oh shit, like maybe someone's found him hacking, or were you just sort of thinking like this is a run-of-the-mill tech pause? Because at that time I was still thinking this must just be like a normal tech pause. I'm just I'm just chatting, doing whatever.
Someone getting caught mid, like someone getting caught mid game is so like
unfathomable, really.
I was like, oh well, it's just LAN where like someone's run over a USB cable with their like PC or something, and it's just broken. They have to fix it somehow. Yeah. Like so, I don't know, delays like that, especially at like non-ESL, like not that I'm an ESL shell or DreamHack or any of those guys, but they all do everything. You won't find delays this bad at those events unless it's something pretty serious. But seems like I was just thinking, yeah, it's definitely a PC's broken, or like
turned out to be something pretty serious in the end. Anyway, so did you ever feel like you were sort of part of Counter-Strike history in that moment? Because I do, that's one of like the biggest events in my career that I've ever casted, which is kind of funny to say in a way, but like as far as eyeballs is concerned, I think on the Extremes LAN channel that was the most viewed clip, or it might have been even on the ESL's. It might have been on an ESL channel or something, because I remember it being like kind of a big deal where I was like, fucking hell, Malta's come in and he's cast one event and like already he's got more eyeballs as a caster than I pretty much have had in my whole career.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because I remember because we were in Sydney, and so I'd flown in that day and then like Ubered because from Melbourne, everyone who doesn't know, from Sydney, live in Melbourne. So I just come back and Mum was like, oh, I'll come pick you up from the studios, because like I hadn't seen her in like a few months. So I told actually it was my sister. Sorry, my sister came and picked me up, and I told them a time, and then they came in and I was like, sorry, there's delays going on, like all this shit's happening and we don't know why. It might be like another half an hour, and they're like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then when we kind of found it out, I was like, that is like just so huge. Like it's such, I was trying to explain to like my sister and her fiance like what was going on, and like I think from the outside they just couldn't understand how big it was. Like that had happened, but I was like, you don't understand, like he's cheating on LAN, and they're like, oh okay, he's cheating, is he? And I'm like, it's on LAN, you don't understand, like this hasn't happened before in like, or hasn't happened for such a long time that someone's been caught red-handed mid-game as well. It's crazy.
This was a highlight from In Retrospect episode 1, which featured Malta. We go in depth into his early career and a little bit more in depth into the later stages of his career with the likes of Greyhound and Renegade. So make sure you check it out if you're interested.